Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today here at City Hall for this important press conference regarding the ongoing boil water notice and the efforts being made to resolve this issue. The City of Laredo is committed to ensuring the safety and well-being of our community, and today we will hear from key local and federal leaders and state leaders about the steps being taken to improve our water infrastructure and protect our public health. Today, Mayor Dr. Victor Trevino, alongside City Management, Congressman Henry Cuellar, Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia, and also Texas State Representative Richard Peña Raymond, will provide us with updates on the local, state, and federal assistance and the long-term solutions that will help us address this critical issue. Mayor of the City of Laredo, Dr. Victor Trevino, will begin the press conference today, but before we continue, we kindly ask the members of the media to hold any questions until after the press conference concludes. Our speakers will be available for interviews at that time, and we will appreciate your understanding and cooperation in conducting those interviews following the presentation. Mayor Dr. Victor Trevino will give an update on where we are at with the boil water notice. Mayor?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Dr. Victor Trevino, Mayor for the City of Laredo. An update on the boil water notice and emergency declarations. This is an all hands on deck operation. We're now working with the state and federal agencies, including the White House. As the Emergency Management Director, I'm coordinating to dedicate available resources and address the boil water notice and active local and now state declarations of emergency. I appreciate the phone call and support from Governor Abbott, as this state declaration is a necessary step to open up more avenues for federal assistance. I have been in close contact with Congressman Cuellar and the White House on further assistance through the SBA and other federal agencies. On Monday, the request I have for City Council is to provide a discount to our residential accounts and create a disaster fund that will assist businesses that were impacted by this boil water notice. This is an important move for me as mayor because we need to do the hard work that people can expect from us and to lead in order to restore public trust. As of yesterday, 60 tests conducted by the City of Laredo came back negative for E. coli contaminants in the water system. This previously impacted area in central Laredo came back negative for E. coli. I want to clear up some confusion to inform the public that we also test the water system for levels of bacteria, which is not a part of our decision with the boil water notice. There was one test near the airport at Mayor Street that came back for high bacteria, and we're flushing this site as we speak. Although the 60 negative tests for E. coli is good news, this is not a time to celebrate yet, because we need to remove the sources of these contaminations, which we believe are external sources, including illegal cross connections in our systems. As the city is progressing to remove the water boil notice, I want to inform the public that in the abundance of caution, we will wait to make that decision once we get a second set of 60 negative E. coli test samples tonight. With that being said, as mayor, I will continue to keep the declaration of emergency in place, whether we remove the boil water notice or not, until we fix our water infrastructure. And we will work with our state and federal representatives to utilize programs to help us bring back our quality of life. And now we'll pass the podium to our city manager, Mr. Neb. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for everybody being here. I'm going to cover some of the day-to-day operations that we've been experiencing. Start to talk about where we're headed for why this press conference is here, is looking at the long term, looking at the solutions that we want to find. But the City of Laredo remains committed to resolving the current water emergency through decisive action, diligent efforts, and community cooperation. This release outlines the next steps and ongoing initiatives to ensure the safety and quality of Laredo's water supply. We want to recognize the tireless dedication of the Utilities Department and all the city departments who have been working around the clock to address the situation. Our mayor, city council, local, state, and federal partners have also been deeply involved in the efforts to protect our public health and restore our water service. We extend our gratitude to TCEQ, TDEM, Texas Department of Environmental Management, the state of Texas, and of course, the federal government for working tirelessly and their unwavering support during this emergency. All of our local representatives have been working to resolve this issue, ensuring that both immediate needs are met and long-term improvements to the water system are prioritized. I personally want to thank the public for their patience and their understanding and the assistance that they are providing through this emergency. Last night, the Utilities Department crews identified and isolated some of the key problem areas within our system. These areas were shut down temporarily to allow for superchlorination, a powerful disinfectant a method that's designed to eliminate any potential contaminants within those water lines. So we went into the area where we had received some E. coli samples and we shut the system down. Our customers within that area were impacted by about 4 to 6 hours of having the system shut down. We injected chlorine into the system to try to kill the contaminants. We flush the system, we check it to make sure that it is safe for use, and then we reopen the system. So that we apologize for the disruption with this, but we continue to advance our efforts to eliminate any of the contaminants within the system. The water coming out of our treatment plants meets the highest quality standards. This is a difference from the boil water order that we had a few years ago. The challenges we are facing are within our distribution system, where contaminants may have been introduced during construction or due to our aging infrastructure. Our teams are focusing on identifying and resolving these distribution issues to ensure safe water reaches every home and business. Beginning Saturday, tomorrow, the Utilities Department will implement a free chlorine conversion process. This proactive industry standard practice ensures deeper disinfection by eliminating any lingering contaminants. For those of you from Laredo, you know that every spring we go through a free chlorine conversion within our system. We use a product called Chloramines right now, which is a disinfectant that includes chlorine and ammonia within our system. Throughout the year, we bring in a free chlorine conversion where we change it over to just strictly chlorine. It is a stronger disinfectant for these contaminants, and so we are making that change early because we want to try to remove those contaminants out of there. And so the conversion will continue for 60 days. Starting tomorrow, it'll take us 7 days to get through the conversion, to get our entire system changed over. Our customers will sometimes see a taste or an odor difference within our water, but that's usual. That's normal for our systems, but this will take care of any remaining contaminants within our system. To ensure the removal of stagnant water and any potential contaminants in the private plumbing systems, we are developing a tentative flushing plan that we will be asking all of our customers to assist us with. Understand that our testing is actually done in houses and businesses within our system in order to be representative of what we have to work with. So the idea is that we're committed to our water quality all the way through the tap of the system in a home. We believe that if we can ask our people, our customers, to flush their systems in their home, that will help remove any remaining contaminants and any remaining stagnant water within the system. We're going to be looking at doing 2 districts at a time within a 6-hour window from each other. There will be information coming out of PIO in order to implement this, but we believe this will help us do the remaining challenges with anything that is remaining within our system. So we will be providing that information within that. And so we urge all residents and businesses owners to participate within our flushing system because we believe that working together is the best way to handle this thing. The mayor mentioned about illegal water connections. They pose a serious contamination risk to the public water supply. We are asking the community to support any suspicious or illegal connections for free inspections. Your cooperation is crucial to ensuring the safe water for everybody. What we're asking everybody is that if you've had a contractor within the last 12 months or so that have done plumbing work in your property or in your business, we would ask you to give the city a call. We will do a free inspection of that work. So whether we had a permit issued or not, we want to come out there because we want to find any remaining challenges within our system to ensure the safety of that. So this will be at no cost to our people, and we will come out, we will do another inspection of the system to ensure that any of that work is done, that the contractor was qualified to do the license to do the work, and that the work meets all the standards are there. As you're aware that one of our high bacteria samples that happened up in the north end of town was caused by a cross connection of our system where a water heater was connected directly into the wastewater system, which allowed for the ability for a backflow of contaminated water into our system. So we really believe that we need your help in order to eliminate those issues. The mayor mentioned a little bit about misinformation and that it can spread confusion and panic during these public emergencies. We encourage all the residents to seek information from official sources and avoid sharing unverified information. Stay informed through the City of Laredo's official channels. Make sure that the information, trust but verify. And that's all. I think that's all we're asking is that check the information out. Give us a call. We're happy to help with any of that. You can make your own determination at that point in time. But we believe that there's a lot of information out there, and for a lot of different reasons, there's a lot of different panic that can occur, and we're afraid that somebody could get hurt based upon that bad information. So I'd ask for everybody's help with trying to get that tone down and keep it under control. So to secure federal assistance, we need to document how the emergency has impacted our local businesses. Please report any negative effects to the city's Economic Development Department or our partners, the Laredo Chamber of Commerce or the Laredo Economic Development Corporation. This information will help support our case, and our local Congressman Cuellar can help champion the cause if we can get that information and that detail so we can get it into his hands so that we can find the assistance for that. This will help on the state level as well too, but we need that information. Either give the Economic Development Department a call, give the Chamber of Commerce a call, give the Economic Development Corporation. These are our partners that help with our business community, and they'll help move that information in there. As part of a goodwill effort, Mayor Dr. Victor Trevino has recommended a utility discount to help customers affected by the emergency. The City Council will be holding an emergency special meeting on Monday to discuss the implementation of this discount, which acknowledges the challenges faced by the residents and business owners and encourages participation in the flushing process. The City of Laredo, in partnership with local, state, and federal agencies, is fully committed to resolving this emergency as quickly and safely as possible. The emergency will remain in effect until the water system is confirmed safe. We appreciate your patience, your cooperation, and understanding as we work to lift the boil water notice and restore reliable water service. Together, we can build a stronger and more resilient water system for Laredo's future. Those are my comments. Thank you so much. Mayor, I'll turn the floor back.
Thank you to our city manager. Now we're going to hear from federal and state officials as well and how they're helping the city of Laredo moving forward to improve our water infrastructure as well. So please help me welcome Congressman Henry Cuellar.
Thank you so much. And Mayor, let me start off with this first. I want to thank you, the city manager, also the assistant city manager, also Steve and Joe. Thank you for your team because, Mayor, during this very difficult time, you've been steady. You've been steady, and we really appreciate that type of leadership that you have provided the city of Laredo. So I want to say thank you so much. Also at the state level, Richard has been there at every single time, bringing the water, a lot of water, and you'll talk about that. And we appreciate the work that you've been doing. You've been on the ground, and we really appreciate the work that you've been doing. So thank you also. I have a friend of mine here, Sylvia Garcia, who called me up and said, "Hey, what can I do to help? I heard about this situation in Laredo." She represents Houston, Texas. It's a few miles outside of Laredo, and I want to thank her for her expertise and, of course, for her work and for coming to Laredo to show the support for Laredo. So thank you so much, Congresswoman, for being here. First of all, I do want to say that there are two issues here, in my opinion. One is an immediate issue that we need to address, and another one's long-term. The immediate priority is making sure, Mayor, as you've been doing, to make sure that we have safe water for our citizens. Today's immediate focus, what it's been here, has been to focus to ensure that the citizens of Laredo and the surrounding areas have access to safe and clean water itself. We needed a coordinated effort, and that's why Congresswoman Garcia's here. That's why Richard Raymond's here. Lupita, again, thank Mr. King also, all working together to make sure that it's also the state, the federal government working with the city. So we will work together with you on this. I think it's been, and correct me on this, the last 5 years, it's been 8 times. Yes, sir. 5 years, 8 times, and that's important to note because this could happen again, and this is why we got to make sure that we address this, which is the second goal, and that is long-term, the aging pipes that we have. And this is something that I think one of the longest was about 63 days. 63 days, and so this has happened. So first thing first, we take care of the immediate focus, and then we got to look at long-term. Long-term, we certainly have to replace aging water, the aging water infrastructure. No ifs, no buts. It's going to cost a few dollars. And I think you all, we've talked already about you putting this together. In fact, I think you all worked on it, Richard, some years ago. There's already estimates. So we need to try to get those estimates together to replace this. Now, I'll say this to the citizens. This is not only for Laredo. It doesn't only happen in Laredo. Maybe a few times extra, but the problems with aging water lines is something that affects every particular part of the country itself. So this is something where we need to make sure that we put an effort to address the aging. I was looking at some of the map over here. Some years ago, we brought federal dollars. I think it was over $30 million for the Jefferson Water Plant. So we worked with the state and we got millions of dollars for the Jefferson Water Plant. But when we talk about the pipes, that's going to cost a lot more money to address that. So to upgrade the city's water infrastructure would be critical to make sure that we prevent future disruptions and make sure that we have a resilience in our water system for years to come. Again, it's going to take a team effort. I know Richard's going to talk about a team effort. We need everybody. Everybody can't be here pointing fingers. Everybody has to get together because our number one priorities are the citizens of our community. I want to thank the governor's office. I know you've been in contact with the governors, and also Richard and both of y'all have been working with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality as they work to address this issue. And again, we will continue working with you, Mayor, on this. I can tell you at the federal level, I'll talk about a couple of things. Throughout this process, we've been in contact with the mayor, the city manager, and Richard and other folks to make sure that we address this. I personally contacted the White House personally to address, so we can look at this. I know you've been in contact with the White House also. Sylvia has a lot of good contacts at the White House. So we've been in contact with the White House personally to make sure that we look at not only short-term and long-term. We've been in contact with the Small Business Administration because it does have an impact on businesses across the city. The Department of Health and Human Services, we've been in contact with HSS also. EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and you're familiar with them also, and I think you're going to talk about them there. I also talked to Xochitl Small, which is a number 2 USDA. As you know, they don't help in here, but if there's an outside of Laredo, the rural parts, they can help also if we need to. So USDA is ready to contact. FEMA is a little busy in North Carolina, a couple of places, but we've been in contact with FEMA. As you know, that's under Homeland Security, so we've been in contact with them. I know we've connected SBA, EPA with the mayor's office directly to make sure that they work with them directly, and they've been working with them. EPA, we just a few hours ago, EPA said that, look, they're ready to do whatever they can, but they know that TCEQ will take the lead on this, so they're ready to work in any way. EPA is ready to work on that. And again, one of the things that I want to say that we've worked with both the governor's state federal liaison's office that he has up there. We also have worked and talked to both senators, both Cruz and Cornyn, to make sure, because the next item I want to talk about is going to take a bipartisan effort. And again, one of the things I was talking to the mayor and to the city manager is a possibility. I've been in contact with House leadership, with Rosa DeLauro, because right now what they're doing, communities in North Carolina, Florida, and other places, because of the hurricane, they're putting their background information, because one of the things that we'll be addressing when we go back is how much funding are we going to put in that particular disasters that we have in both in Florida and North Carolina. So what I'm hoping that we can do is to get a little bit of money in there, and hopefully this funding bill, we can add a little bit of money for some of the aging waters. It'd be a little difficult because every city will say, well, we got aging pipes, but because in the last 5 years, we've had 8 situations, we're hoping that this will give us a little legwork so we can try. So we're gonna try this long-term, but we're gonna need the help to make sure that if we are looking at long-term, we can hopefully try to add some money in this new disaster bill that's coming up on that. So with that, I just want to say that it's a team effort. This is what we all have to roll up our sleeves. This is not the time to point fingers. The state is ready to do that. The federal government, I want to thank Sylvia Garcia for coming up here and showing support for the city. And Mayor, again, you've been steady. You and your administration have been steady under this very difficult time, and we appreciate that type of leadership. I think it's, everybody says you define a man not by the easy time, but the difficult time. And I think you and the city have been steady on this. But again, this is the immediate term. We got to look at long term with that. With that, I'd like to ask Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia. She's been a county commissioner. She's been a state senator also, and now she's been a colleague of mine for many years. She's in Washington working with me. And just the fact that she called and said, what can I do for the city of Laredo, speaks loudly. So Congresswoman Garcia, thank you so much. If I would ask you to come up here and say a few words, and thank you for being here and supporting the Laredo community. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, he said a few minutes, but before he had told me I had 30 minutes. So, Mayor, I don't know what to do. But no, I'm just going to first thank the mayor for agreeing to allow me to say a few words. And it's good to see Richard. We were in the House, and you were in the House, and I was in the Senate. I know Senator Ceferini has a representative here. What's your name, sweetie? Esquivel. Iris Esquivel is here, and of course Henry is here. And I think it's important that we underscore the point that Henry has made, that in this one, it is going to take all of us working together. And I can assure you that whatever is needed in Laredo, whatever proposal that the congressman brings forward, I will be there to support it. And I'll tell you why. I may be from Houston, but I was born in Duval County in San Diego, and I grew up in Palito Blanco, Jim Wells County. And back when I was growing up, and I think the city manager and I talked a little bit about it, we just had our own water wells. We didn't worry about all this stuff. I don't think we ever tested anything, but I turned out all right. It was simpler, but the jobs today in local governments, it's much tougher. It's much tougher. And Henry's right, you need someone who's steady. and someone who's going to ensure the public not to panic and to be patient, and more importantly, to make a plan to move forward. And I think what I heard from the city manager, and we spoke a little bit before we started, assures me that you all are on track in doing that. But I also know, because what Henry didn't mention, that I was also in city government, I was the city controller. That person watches all the money. All these projects cost a lot of money. And that's why you all are fortunate that the congressman sits on appropriations. And we're fortunate that he'll be able to visit more with Rosa DeLauro. And if I need to visit with Rosa DeLauro, we will. Because infrastructure projects, especially the water systems, are critical in any community, but they're also very costly. I remember when we did a study of just the drainage ditches in Houston, and the drainage system in Houston, and some of those drainage issues were dated back to the 1800s when Houston was founded, especially downtown, because they build with new pipes, they build with new things, but the old still stays there. So that's the challenge. But again, I'm concerned because I am a South Texas girl, but more importantly, as Henry said, this challenge is faced by communities across America. And we will be here, Mayor, to help you in any way we can. And if Henry doesn't return your call or isn't doing what he wants, si no se porta bien, you just call me. Because I will be there with you just like I've been in the past, supporting Laredo and the South Texas to make sure that we get the attention, the money, and the resources we need to make sure our communities thrive. So thank you all for having me here today, and thank you, Henry, for the invitation.
Thank you so much to both Congressman Cuellar and Congresswoman Garcia. Now we will hear from the state side, and I do want to thank Dean Senator Judith Zaffarini also for all of her work that she's been done with also the mayor and as well with State Representative Richard Pena Raymond. And he is with us today, and he's been also a strong voice for Laredo at the state level during this emergency crisis. So please, Representative Raymond, come join us.
Thank you very much, Raida. And first of all, thank you, Congresswoman, for joining us. A very, very good friend. We served together in the legislature in Austin before Henry took her to Washington. And as someone who grew up in Duval County, I always admired that she was born in Duval County. But I was actually born in the county she grew up in because I was born in Atlas because they had a hospital. Yeah, I was born there, lived there for 2 days. They only kept us 2 days, doctor. Then they sent me back to Benavides. And, but thank you for being here and for your support. This is very important for us, as you can see and as you know. And Congressman, thank you for everything. And let me tell you, Congresswoman, Henry always returns phone calls. I always return. We return our phone calls, right? Unlike some politicians I know, you know. But this is a very serious time. I've had flashbacks. Dr. Chamberlain, where's Dr. Chamberlain? I've had flashbacks to COVID, you know, in these last few days because this is a serious health issue. And I know that part of why the person that was so pivotal in helping us get through COVID, Dr. Trevino here, I know part of why he ran for mayor was because of the things that we saw before you got elected, and the congressman mentioned it, the problems that we'd already started having with our water system. And I can remember 2.5 years ago, before you got here, Mr. Nebb, a third of the city wasn't getting water, including the senator's house, right? She wasn't getting water, it was very spotty, and but that was true for a third of the city. So part of when he ran, part of the reason he ran, I remember, he says, we've got to fix these big problems. And now here we are. Now it's really gotten everybody's attention because I'll tell you, when you can't brush your teeth with the water running out of your faucet, or when you take a shower, you got to worry about swallowing water. That's just not a good place to be. And when you go, like I went to Taco Palenque and this morning, and I couldn't get Jamaica, right? Because they can't make Jamaica. I mean, but what's happening is so many businesses are being affected negatively because of what's going on. And so I am absolutely with the congressman in saying that, Mayor, you know how much I believe in you. You are a steady force. And thank God you're mayor right now. I will say that. And you'll get us through this. But the community needs to support you. You have the leadership skills. You know how to get it done. You know what needs to be done. And my hope is that my friends on the city council back here will follow your lead to make sure that we finally address this, because it's going to keep happening in so many different ways. City manager, this isn't the first time that we've had a serious issue. The Congressman mentioned we've had several. But I want to say something that's very important. The federal government has jumped in. Henry, Congressman, you never stop helping. We try at the state level to help as well. And I am very proud and very thankful for the Texas Division of Emergency Management and Chief Nim Kidd. We will have delivered by tomorrow 3 million bottles of water from the state. Senator Zaffirini, Representative King, and I, working with the mayor, working with the TDEM, working with Chief Kidd. And importantly, I want to thank the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ, because they have been working day and night, as you know, Mayor, day and night, to work with the city in partnership to try to find out where are the problem areas and how can we fix it. So the state is doing their part, the feds are doing their part. Obviously, the city is bending over backwards to try to figure this thing out and moving forward. But we're standing in the City Hall chambers of Laredo, Webb County, Texas. And right across the street, there's a building. It's called the Webb County County Courthouse. And I would call on County Judge Dano Tijerina and the Commissioner's Court to step up to the plate too. As the mayor said, all hands on deck. We need them to step up too. I saw recently in the newspaper, and you all saw it too, where Webb County boasted that they had $90 million in their savings account. $90 million. Okay, we ought to at least use half of that to help the city pay for the water infrastructure that we have to fix. This is not just a city problem. The people who live in the city of Laredo also live in the county of Webb. And this has to be a partnership. At the state level, I passed a bill last session and the voters approved it, a $1 billion water fund. But that's not enough, because as Henry said, or the Congressman said, and Sylvia, it's a whole state that needs to dip into that, and we continue to put in dollars at the state level for the cities and the counties to go try to qualify and get some of those loans or grants. But when you got a county sitting here, and they're my friends, they got $90 million. Mayor, I'm going to ask him, and I hope that the press will cover this, that Webb County to step up to, and all hands on deck, and use some of that $90 million and give it back to the people of Laredo, because the people of Laredo largely put those tax dollars in those coffers, right? Sitting there, they're not doing any good. We need them to we need that money to be put into the ground to help remove those pipes and replace those pipes so people can feel safe in Laredo when they're drinking water, when they're brushing their teeth, when you've got little kids, your children, you think those little children, you got to chase after them. Hey, don't drink water from the faucet. They're not going to they're not going to listen to you. They get thirsty, they're going to drink water. And all the restaurants and all the businesses that are affected. So I hope that we as a community understand that this is something that all of us, as the Congressman said and as the mayor said, that all of us have to be involved in solving it for once and for all. So with that, Mayor, we continue to work with you. We'll get past this boil water notice at some point, but clearly it's an ongoing issue, and we got to fix it for once and for all, and I hope that everybody will join in. The city, obviously the federal government, the city, the state, and the county, that they step up in a very real way. And let me say this last thing about, I can't help it, man, $90 million is a bunch of money. But it's sitting there, and one of the things, and I want to give him props, at the federal level, in the Recovery Act, Congressman Qued on the Appropriations Committee, the only Democrat from Texas on the Appropriations Committee, fought so hard for those Recovery Act monies. And a lot of that came to the city, a lot of that came to the state, a lot of that went to the county. And so the county is, use those recovery dollars, or they're sitting in a bank account. That's not why he sent them down here. He sent that money down here to help us recover from COVID. But we need to use some of that money now to help us recover from this bad water system. With that, thank you very much for inviting me. And Mayor, we're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, State Representative Peña. That concludes our press conference for today. We just want to thank everyone that's here joining us as we continue to address this critical issue and working towards a safer, more reliable water system for our community. As a reminder, all of our speakers, reminder to the media that our speakers are available for interviews shortly. Thank you so much.